Crafty Monsters. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody is fabulous. So, in today's fabulous tutorial, we are going to be going over paper trimmers. So, it's not really a tutorial. I don't know why you said tutorial, Jesse. I mean, like, seriously, Matthias. Matthias is, like, biting me like, shut up. That's the wrong thing to say. I'm not listening to him. He's not really biting me. He loves to have my hand in his mouth. Anywho. So, while the baby is over here gnawing on my hand, let's talk about paper trimmers. So, paper trimmers. I know some of you have messaged me and have asked me to make a tutorial on this because you guys have seen me using so many different paper trimmers. And that is true. That is very true. I do have a lot of paper trimmers. Why do I have a lot of paper trimmers? Well, I had more, but I've gotten rid of some in the past. So, yeah, so it was a lot. Yeah, I've had a lot more. So anywho, going back. So, the reason why is because when I first started to craft, one of the first ones that I had was this paper trimmer that was also / scoreboard. And, at that time, I thought, oh, okay, well, you know, that's perfect because that paper trimmer is like 2-in-1. It's a scoreboard and it's a paper trimmer and all that good stuff. The only problem with that one was that, let me show you kind of like on this, because it's kind of, so it kind of was like this kind of a holster for the blade. It was a plastic. It wasn't really this metal. It was just all plastic. And when you're cutting with plastic and the holster is nothing but plastic, sometimes you have a tendency of this plastic right here once you get to the middle part, because there's really nothing to hold this sturdy really. The plastic could kind of bend. So it'll cause you to basically have a lump in your cut, or maybe to have a very uneven cut. Or maybe it's cut, you know, a little bit lower in the bottom or higher or low, like higher in the top or something like that. There's always going to be something wrong. So a lot of those paper trimmers, I kind of gave them out to people who wanted them. I did tell them, you know, I'm not going to give something to somebody and not explain to them, you know, the pros and the cons about it. There was a lot of pros on it, you know. It does, you know, if you were to be able to hold your hand steady and not really try to move your hand to the side like we are naturally sometimes, you know, we can't really go straight completely. If you're able to learn how to do that, then you would be able to cut perfect on that paper trimmer. And then not to mention, I'm right here. And then not to mention, you would be able to have a scoreboard with that. So after I got rid of that little bad boy, then I ended up getting one of these. And there was the older model of this one. This one comes with this little score tool now, so you can go ahead and score with this one. And the good thing about this one is that it has a little extra hand, so it goes all the way down to 15 inches. Okay, so it'll cut a 15 by 15 inch paper. So, well, a 15 inch long, but it's not going to, it's going to be a 12 by 15 paper that you could cut, basically. So, anywho, so we went ahead and we got one of these. And the thing that I really liked about this was, the good part was that it had a score tool and a blade. So this actually comes out really, really easy. It has, right here, it has, it says blade change. So you put your little blade between this little marker right here. And then you can go ahead and remove this really easy. So, well, oh yeah. So remove this really easy. This one's a little score one. It's just a little wheel. And this, I believe it's orange, right? This one is the blade one. And like I said, the good thing about it is that the holster for the blade is metal. It is on a plastic, you know, the metal is on a plastic, but this kind of reinforces this area right here where you have a tendency of your blade kind of moving. I'm right here. It kind of moves. So, you know, you have this little bad boy right here, and you can go ahead and use either one of these tools to score and to cut. And I mean, this little bad boy right here is really, really perfect. I still hold on to this little bad boy because, I use this a lot whenever I go traveling. Like if I need to go somewhere and I'm going to be crafting, this is the little bad boy I take. Now we have a bigger one, and this one you've also have seen this one. Well, this one you really haven't seen too much in the videos because, like I said, I really don't use this as much. This is the only one that I pull out whenever I'm going to go somewhere and I need to travel and to craft. That's the one that I take because it's a little more compact. This is one that you might have seen me use in the very beginning of my tutorials, and this is one of my favorites as well. It is on a plastic holster, but it does have that metal bar in the middle. That's the holster for the actual blade. What I like about this is that it has a rotary blade, and you have to push down some pressure, and it cuts against this little foamy strip right here. And that's the part that I like about this one. And then also too, this one will cut I'd say 9 inches, and and it's a pretty big size paper cutter. This is really perfect for the craft room too, if you guys don't want to get too expensive on the paper cutters and stuff like that. This is one that I would basically use. You can go ahead and cut about, see, with this little bad boy, I would recommend that you cut each sheet of paper one by one because of the way the blade is and the way it's cut and the way it cuts. I would just recommend one sheet at a time. For these rotary ones, because you're putting pressure down and you're really cutting, I think that you would be able to get away with cutting at least 2 regular cardstocks that are usually about 65 pounds, the regular cardstock, 2 sheets, or maybe 3 sheets of like copy paper, thin paper. I would actually be able to cut that. And so you would be able to get a lot more cuts out of this. Now, what I've learned out of all the years of having so many paper trimmers is that each paper trimmer is off by a little smidge, even if it's a smidge, but always know that, guys. Not to mention that the paper is not always perfect. It's not always cut perfect. It's cut by machines, and sometimes, the machines cut down like this and paper kind of, moves a little bit by like a hair or something like that. But sometimes when you're doing crafts, that little hair kind of does make a little difference. Okay, and now I also have the grandfather of paper cutter, which I'm going to show you guys, is this little bad boy right here. And this is also a Fiskars paper trimmer, and it opens up, and this will basically cut anywhere from 13 inches to a 13 inch paper. And what I love about it is it has this heavy duty rotary blade. See the blade? So it's a rotary blade, right? And it rubs up against this little metal part right here, and it's actually sharpening every time you cut. So every time you cut, it sharpens. And that's what I love about this paper trimmer. Now, what does Jesse use this paper trimmer for? I'm glad you asked me, my little crafty monsters, because I rarely put out this little paper trimmer unless I'm going to cut chipboard. If I'm going to cut chipboard, if I'm going to cut like anything that's like a thick material, I go ahead and pull this little bad boy out. Or if I want to just, pull it out, sometimes I do. But for the most part, it's usually always for chipboard. And it's usually when I'm doing like maybe photo albums and stuff like that. Now, what I like about this one is it does fold for, so that you can go ahead and store this little bad boy. But it is a little bulky. It is very bulky, and it's very big, and it's actually it's kind of heavy. So you kind of have to be really careful on what kind of paper trimmer you're going to choose. If you've noticed, a lot of the brand that I use is that Fiskars, and I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's the brand that I use a lot. And the reason for that is because that's a brand that I trust a lot. Not to mention, they do have a lot of good paper trimmers. So now, that was the rotary cutter, and then that was that regular blade, that little glide blade that you usually cut. Those are those paper trimmers. Now, when I want to do projects like, where's Matthias? Oh, he's not here, so we're gonna use this. Oh, sorry. This is the one I was gonna talk about. So we're gonna use this little chair as a little storage really quick before he comes. Because he'll come and trust me, he will get mad because we have those there. So anyway, so another one that you guys have seen me use a lot in my tutorials is this little bad boy right here. Let me lock so that the blade. So anyway, is this little bad boy right here. Now, the reason why I love to use these kind of trimmers, now I don't know what these are called. I would just call them straight blade trimmers, just like the way I use a straight blade to shave my face. I do. I don't use a razor. I use one of those straight blade knives, you know, like the olden days the guys used to. That's how I shave. But anyway, and I think that's why I'm so comfortable with using this one. If I use it on my face, why not on my paper? So anywho, this is one that I love to use because it does straight cuts. Now, like I said with these little bad boys, you do have a tendency sometimes the blade kind of does move. Even on these, because these are not really metal. These are like an aluminum. So it's not really, you know, even aluminum is still a little bit bendable if you're really putting a lot of pressure in. I've seen some crafters sometimes and they look like they're killing the damn paper trimmer just to cut a paper. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, whatever, to each their own, right? So, but I love to use these. What does Jesse love to use these for? And I'm gonna show you guys because this is what, hold on, I'm gonna put my big old head right here, boo boo. So this is what I love to use them for because they are perfect. And I have 3 sizes. You guys have seen the 3 sizes. You've seen my medium size, okay? And you've also seen my little mini one, which is this little bad boy. So you have seen these 3 in my tutorials because I use these a lot because they're the straight ones. And I have the different sizes because sometimes you don't need that really big bulky one and sometimes you need one that's a little bigger than the small one, so I use this one. And so yeah, Jesse's obsessed with paper cutters. I know. But anywho, the reason why I use those a lot is for when I am cutting my project style cards. So whenever, these are cards that I've cut out myself. So when you're cutting out all these project style cards, it is always good to have one of these cutters because you know that you're always going to get a straight cut on all of your papers. Also too, it works really good because like for the big one, because the big one will cut a 12 by 12 paper. And sometimes some of these little paper packs come with these cute papers, but they're strips. They're just a bunch of little strips. I like to cut those out. Well, and I cut them out like this. I cut them out like this, and I use these as little borders. And the way to cut those in a perfect way is with these trimmers because they're just a straight cut. And I really love using these little bad boys. Like honestly, I know that I have a lot of paper trimmers. Now, I'm not saying you need all these paper trimmers. You definitely do not, my little crafty monsters. Borrow, shape, and form. You do not need all these paper trimmers. Jesse just has these paper trimmers because I have collected over the years. And what I don't get out of these bad boys, I get out of my straight, we're just going to call them straight blade ones. I get out of my little straight blade ones. And the reason why is I use these more when I'm doing cards, when I'm cutting things, when I'm doing like stuff like that. I mean, I guess I just use them, period. Which one would Jesse recommend? Honestly, to tell you the truth. But I just don't know how it is in your guys' craft room. But the one that I would recommend is this little bad boy. And it is a, what is it? A swing line. It is a swing line, and I had purchased this one at Hobby Lobbies, and I do believe that I purchased it for $23 after the coupon and all, but completely worth it, honestly. The blade, the one thing that you have to be really careful with is that you want a paper trimmer that's going to be pretty sturdy right here on this blade, because even when you're pulling this blade down, sometimes you do have a tendency to pull outward and you'll have a little gap. And so that does tend to happen with these as well. So you always have to make sure that when you're cutting straight up and straight down, straight up and straight down. Do not kind of come to the sides or anything like that. That's not going to work. Now, if this little bad boy is a little too big for you guys, then I wouldn't really recommend this one, because this one literally only cuts up to 5.5, and it doesn't really cut up, you know, that big of a paper. I use this for when it's like smaller projects. But if you're gonna ask me, I would do the swing line. I would definitely do that one. The next one on my list would basically be this little bad boy. The reason why I'm going to tell you the reason why, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, because I know he's big and he's bulky, but this is going to be a money saver for you guys at the end of the day. Because you guys, these blades will never need to be replaced. That's basically what it is. It's an everlasting blade. It's going to keep sharpening itself use after use after use after use, and it stays strong and sharp for a long time. I've had this for a few years, and this still cuts like the first day I bought it. Is it bulky? Yes, it is bulky, but it does fold up, if that makes any, you know, that makes it a little bit better, but it is bulky. However, the next one that I would actually choose would be this little bad boy, because of the rotary cutter. Now, it is kind of big and it doesn't fold and stuff like that, but the rotary cutter to me is a lot better than this little bad boy. I would choose a rotary cutter over these little blades right here, because these blades dull up really fast. If you guys have one of these cutters, you guys basically know they do dull up pretty fast, and you have to buy them pretty frequently. The rotary ones, they kind of dull up pretty quick too, but not as quick as these ones. And for some reason, they do last a little bit longer. So I would go with this one. Those are my recommendation on the paper cutters, honestly, but that's just me. I mean, you have to basically go and find something that works for you guys, that's within your budget and stuff like that. You guys see most of all of my tutorials. You guys always see what I make and stuff like that. So you guys know that the straight blade ones are always my go-to paper trimmers. But if you guys are, I mean, I know a lot of people are not comfortable with those big old blades closing up and down, up and down. If you're not comfortable with that, then I would go with the little rotary one. So that would be my recommendation on the paper cutters. I hope that was a little bit helpful, seriously, guys, because, I mean, I've had a lot of paper trimmers and I've had a lot of experiences with them. What I have learned, like I said in the beginning, was that each paper trimmer is off by like a hair or a smidge, but I've noticed they're always off by, no two trimmers are alike. Honestly, to tell you the truth, that's basically what I should say. No two trimmers are alike. They're all completely different, and they're all made by machines. So you guys got to remember that. And so, yeah, so those are my recommendations. I hope, like I said, I hope that is really helpful for you guys. If you guys are out looking into getting a new paper trimmer, I would really, really recommend the swing line straight blade one. But if you guys, like I said, are not comfortable with that one, go with the rotary one. So that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. I'm so sorry that our little co-host, Matthias, didn't want to hang out for the whole video, but I think he had a snack that he wanted to go eat first. But anyways, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, because you guys need to subscribe so that we could become BFFs. You guys all want to be my BFFF. I know you do, boo-boo. And don't forget to like and share this video and tell a friend. I know, that's a lot of things you need to do. But, oh, so sorry, my little man. I knew he was going to come up at some point, guys. Anywho, so that's it for now, my little crafty monsters. Until next time, goodbye.